Good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for your patience. I am Dr. Russell Robinson, and I'm coming to you live from my home office. This is English 1250, OL2 and OL3 Summer School Session 2, Elements of Speech. Again, welcome to our Hangout. I know that some of you may not be able to watch this live. That's why, again, you can watch it on demand. Additionally, we want to make sure that you have access to all the information that you have done thus far. A quick recap so we can make sure that we are all on the same page. This is July 25th. We are approaching the last week of the session. Amazing how time has flown. One of the things that I wanted to go ahead and, first of all, get done or get off the table is, again, you do realize that we have just come out of our demonstration speech. Quite a few of you have done very well with that, and others of you we had a little bit of a challenge with. We want to go ahead and make sure that you follow the directions, or at least the spec sheet that was given to you. If you follow that spec sheet, in many cases, you should have no trouble. Additionally, outlines and PowerPoint presentations that have been provided to you, you should have had access to those. And again, if you've been reading the chapters in the text, which I know you have, then again, following those examples that have been made available to you. Oh, we have a visitor coming in. So if you've been following those examples, you actually will have some, well, I hope they'll come in. Don't you love it when people just do this? Give me a second. They should be coming on any minute. Hopefully we'll see them. Maybe they're watching. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and again let you know that all those examples that we have in the book, all those examples that are available for you, they are still available for you in the Blackboard account. So please feel free to take advantage of those. Those will help you an awful lot. Again, we do have some deadlines that are coming up now. I want to make sure that we are cognizant of those. The 27th of July, we actually do have something that's pending. That is your outline and your PowerPoint outline, basically. However, because we were not able to meet last night, I'm going to go ahead and push that back to Monday, give you guys a little bit of time. Monday, about 5 o'clock, make sure you have your outline in, and also PowerPoint presentations should come in about the next day. Now, for this speech, it is important that you also make sure that you do, and again, I'm going to say this, you must have an audience of 6 people. So with that said, I'm going to now go ahead and actually go to our trusty screen share, and we're going to go ahead and go over the actual requirements for the speech, so you should have no trouble with it whatsoever. Okay, so you should be able to see this, and again, if not, remember, this is also available for you in the content section of Blackboard. Again, to ensure student success, I provided a checklist that should provide you, or you should use before you upload your final informative speech and all required documents. Again, as always, failure to have the requisite speech paperwork and PowerPoint presentations prior to the submission of the speech can mean an automatic disqualification. So as you are screening your polished speech, literally go down the list and check the box in accordance to your speech. I will be doing the same as I evaluate it in tandem with the speech rubric. Again, missing any of these items can mean an automatic disqualification for your speech being evaluated, resulting in a grade of 0. Good luck. So with the informative speech, the required paperwork is the following. You must have an outline. Additionally, you need to make sure that an outline is on the topic, and it's not going to talk about student debt this time. I'm actually changing the topic, and I'll tell you why I'm changing the topic. The topic actually now is going to be talking about this, excessive violence by police. Excessive, EX. And the reason I'm changing that is because of current events. The event taking place which has taken place with Eric Garner, something I think we all should definitely make sure that we at least think about current events. And I think it's important that we take advantage of the classroom, or at least the laboratory we call the classroom, if you will. I think this gives us an opportunity to explore another topic as opposed to student debt. So if you have been thinking about a topic of student debt, please understand it is not student debt. It actually deals this time with excessive violence by the police. Now, again, the outline contains the following sections: a topic, title, general purpose, specific purpose, and thesis. The outline also has an introduction with a heading, centered introduction in all caps. Introduction is catchy enough to engage the audience interest. The introduction is 5 sentences long. The thesis is a 3-point thesis, and as it is a 3-point thesis, it needs to be tied into your topic. Outline. Let's see. The outline has a body, all caps. Pretty much the same things that you guys have done with the other stuff already, so it shouldn't be that much of a challenge. Okay, so now we're also going to go into some other information. Your informative, let me go over here too. Your informative speech PowerPoint presentation. The background, again, does not detract from text or other graphics. The choice of the background is appropriate for this topic. The presentation, again, is free of clip art. And I noticed that quite a few of you, on the first time you submitted in work to me, you felt it was appropriate to submit in clip art. And again, no clip art is allowed here. Photographs that are used, they are employing the rules of thirds. Fonts, again, they have been carefully planned out to enhance readability. The fonts are appropriate size and headed in strategic locations. The presentation has no misspelling or grammatical errors. All graphics are attractive size and colors and support the theme and content of the presentation. If the presentation contains video, the video needs to play seamlessly. The presentation has to be between 7 slides, no more than 10. And each slide contains no more than 20 words per slide. Additionally, the slide contains a minimum of 2 graphics, one of which must be a statistical data set. Again, a statistical data set. Graph, pie chart, something. And again, you need to make those graphics. I prefer you not cut and paste them. To do that is also considered a form of plagiarism, and we don't want to do that. The presentation contains a works cited slide, a minimum of 3 sources. You must have a minimum of 3 sources. The slides contain internal citations of references, so that's important for you. Additionally, the student, again, for your technical requirements, the student is framed properly in the camera, waist and shoulder shot, and so forth. And we don't need the About Me page here. Again, let me take that out for you as well. What you need to make sure is you have your presentation. The student has been adequately lit for the purposes of visibility. I noticed in 1 or 2 of the videos earlier that we actually had people who just were not able to, I couldn't see them, and because I couldn't see them, I couldn't evaluate the presentation. So they had the 48-hour rule. The 48-hour rule, again, is if your work is not satisfactory, you have 48 hours to make it satisfactory. Again, the YouTube settings have been set to public, and you must have a minimum of 6 audience members to offer evaluation. The student's informative speech is not to be read verbatim from the PowerPoint. That happens, you can be disqualified. The student is smiling visibly as well as in the tone of their voice. And again, the student is dressed in this note, business professional attire. The student is well groomed. The student does not have any visible body art. This includes piercings. And I noticed in one person's presentation previously, they felt it was appropriate to have piercings. So I'm telling you now, up front, point blank, don't do that. So that basically is the bottom line of the rubric for what we're looking for. That's how you are going to make your final presentation. Everything that you have done up to this point, whether you choose to believe it or not, it has been a building block of sorts up to this speech. This speech is, again, requiring you to do some outside research. You need to get sources in. You cannot have internet sources. I prefer you not have that many internet sources. If you have an internet source, it can be no more than 1. So you can go to look at data. You can go to a .gov, but you cannot go to a .com. Also, I would prefer that you actually get me information that's in a journal. You may also use information that you may come across, let's say, in magazines or newspapers. But again, everything that you use must be cited. That's important here. Again, I also want to make sure that you know exactly where you can go to take a look at a model presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our trusty screen share, and we're then going to take a look, if you will, at Blackboard, and we're going to take a look at some of the areas in the content section so you can actually see where you can find, again, information that will help you be successful with this speech. So we go over here to now the informative speech checklist, but you also can see that we actually have someone's presentation that's available for you to watch online. Additionally, you have the outline. The outline actually is available for you. It's due on the 27th. I'm going to change that. And I will also see if I can provide you with, if I can, a PowerPoint presentation. I'll try to pop that in there for you so you can see what I'm looking for regarding a good qualifying PowerPoint presentation. But again, also feel free to look at this, but if you need a model, I will provide a model for you. Let's see. And I need to go ahead and fix this too, because they say this was due on the June 22nd. That's not correct. That needs to actually be fixed. So I will fix that for you and turn that into actually the same thing that says 22nd. That needs to actually be fixed for, if I'm not mistaken, I need to put that in for a healthy date of, let's say, the 20th. That's June. That's August. Let's come back. All right, so let's say we want that in by the 28th. Actually, 29th. I'll be nice. 29th. And I'll fix both of those up for you now. So that needs to be on the 29th. So you have till July 29th to submit in your outline and your PowerPoint presentation. Now, after the 29th, you're going to be late. And the reason I want it in by the 29th, at this point, you guys should know what I'm looking for. It should not be a mystery. Should be pretty easy. No sweat. So get it in to me when you can, but no later than the 29th. Again, I will do my best to look at anybody's work that comes in early. But again, 29th, 5 p.m. is when you need to have those items in to me. Okay. Now, notice that I have this thing called Amnesty Week. I'm giving some debate on whether I'm going to do this or not. I've not made a decision on it. The reason is because I don't want to overtax you right now with the fact that you actually have other work that you have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and pray on that or meditate on that for a minute, because I want to make sure that I'm giving you all the adequate time that you need to prepare for these last two speeches, or for the last speech. The last speech I'm looking for to be really a culmination of all the work you've done over the course of this semester. So you've taken the feedback I've given you, you've taken the actual example of creating a PowerPoint presentation, and you now have taken the actual examples too of finding sources, and you're going to integrate all this into a delivery. Do yourself a favor. Take time to watch the actual speech that's available for you in the content section. And what I will do this. On Monday, I will have a special hangout against my better judgment, because I am still in my middle of my birthday week. But again, on Monday the 28th, we will have a special hangout section from 7 o'clock till 8:15, and we will discuss the assignment only. I do not like to take hangout time to discuss individual class issues. That's why we have conference time. If you do have an issue regarding a grade or concern about a grade, feel free to let me know, and we can schedule a private hangout so we can talk about that. Okay, so the topic, excessive violence by the police. How do you go about making this topic something that is your own? This is where I think it becomes kind of interesting. I need you to think about various angles that you can approach this topic with. Certainly you can look at this issue that's currently taking place right now. You can find out about issues of excessive. You can identify what does it mean to have excessive violence. Define the term itself. You can look at cases that deal with excessive violence. But again, the idea here is for you to talk about the notion of excessive police violence. And as you do so, it's important that you provide documentation, that you provide sources. And again, this is an informative speech. It is not a speech where you take a side one way or the other. Informative speech, according to the text, pretty much is this. You are sharing information. So in this case, you may be sharing an incident, a case, statistics, something of that line. But you're sharing information. You are being as objective as possible. In some cases, you may choose to define it. Well, if you're going to define the term police violence, the question then comes down to, well, whose definition will you use? So again, that's where you have to now go back to sources. Sources are important here. Sources add to the credibility of what you're trying to do. So it's important that, again, you think about how you're going to approach this. Again, if you have a question about it, please shoot me an email and I'll do my best to get back in contact with you about it. All right, so I think this is probably going to be one of the shortest hangouts in history, but again, I want to apologize. I had a terrible cold yesterday, and if you were to have a hangout with me yesterday, trust me, it would have been interrupted by a lot of sneezing and sniffling compared to today. So again, I'm looking forward to these topics coming in. Remember the due date. The due date has been changed from the 27th for your outline as well as your PowerPoint. They are now due on Tuesday the 29th. Okay, so we will see you then. Be well, and again, we have a special hangout on Monday at 7 o'clock, the 28th, to discuss any comments or questions you may have about your presentation. Talk to you then. Be well. Bye-bye.